and then ultimating Tezzeret lets you put the counters on the food tokens. I think being Dimir makes a lot of sense to me, so that we can be a deck that is able to take advantage of the slower game plan by slowing the game down with counter magic and some removal, Asmo, and Fatal Push. I also think that it's better to play. I think that 8/3 drops is a little high for these builds, so I wanted to be more in on Monument than Tezzeret, since of course Monument is really, really good at multiples, and Tezzeret is still a legendary planeswalker, even though it can be good at multiples sometimes. So this build is also like kind of different from the one we just played, where you have a lot of tutor targets. This one is mostly just like, let's get extra copies of Cookbook and try to ultimate Tezzeret pretty quickly, which I think is a pretty fine game plan. So we remembered to put Urza Saga in our Asmo deck. I'm gonna mulligan though. It was double Street Wraith, double Mox Opal, Island, Urza Saga, Ovalchase Daredevil. Okay, opponent's also double to 6, I guess. Let's go put back the Cookbook, I think. Got Frog as a discard outlet, and we want to play Cycle Lrien Revealed turn 1, so that we can play Frog turn 2. Nice to draw another blue card. The Lrien Reveals are really nice. They trigger Monument, they let you cast Asmo, and they also pitch to Force. And you're also a Mox Opal deck, so you cast them more often than you might think. The leagues of popular formats are nice in Arena, but you need to get to beat some noobs before your rank gets to something real. And the expensive part is the worst way if you don't play. I know, it's just like Arena is something that rewards you for playing it like almost every day. That's by design, so that you keep coming back and keep spending money. It's not something that lets you engage with it and Magic Online very well. It's not something that lets you engage with it in like a casual manner usually either. All right, one on top, one on bottom, one on top, one on bottom. That'll be nice to play next turn. Is it common to get 2 wins and start losing? I feel like I always start losing after the first 2 wins, or lose 2 then win 3. I think you're seeing correlation where there isn't, probably. I don't think there's anything specific about having 2 wins that makes you lose more. I don't love not having hardcast Force of Negation up here. No block from our opponent. Is there any world where a deck could just play 3 Sand Powder, or is that crazy? That seems within the realm of of sanity to me, playing only 3 Sand Powder. Will I be playing Silksong when it comes out? I started playing Hollow Knight last week, because I have never played the game. So I'll probably try to finish that first. I'm not very far in, though. Okay, they discard a Watery Grave. The hand is probably 1 more land and 2 spells, or maybe 2 more lands and a spell. There's an island, and then they just pass the turn. We draw a Street Wraith. Let's go and just see if we connect with this frog first. Have I played any Borderlands games? I played a couple of. I played the first one, and then I don't think I liked the second one very much. Not sure what it was about the second one I didn't like, but I just don't remember caring for it. They probably have some counter magic. I don't love that if I play this Mox Opal, I can't Saga and have Rebuke up anyways. I'd be a mana short, so seems. I guess I could maybe be playing around Bowmaster by playing the Opal, but I can also maybe get a loyalty on the Tezzeret. They hard cast a Subtlety. I don't think I care that much about that. Borderlands 2 is good. So the thing about Borderlands 2 is that it's supposed to be a multiplayer game, right? But I prefer being a single gamer usually, and I remember I stopped playing Borderlands 2 because there was this giant flying saucer boss in the sky, and I was like pew pew pew. I was like pinging it for like maybe like an hour, like maybe 30 minutes, like a really long time to be fighting a boss that wasn't that interesting. Like it was very easy to fight. It was just taking forever because it was took forever because I was solo. And then I stepped on a mine, or I don't know if the mines are a thing. It's been a long time. So, like some random enemy killed me out of nowhere when the boss had the tiniest little bit of health left. It had the tiniest little bit of health left you've ever seen. So I just quit after that. I'm like I'm not doing this again. All right, I do think we need to rebuke here. Wouldn't you have rebuke up if you played Opal? Tap Saga, swap, make construct, tap Opal, Grave, construct to make rebuke. Oh shoot, sorry, you're right. Don't know how I missed that. Right, I don't think I'm main decking the Shadowspear. Let me just double check. Sorry, I don't know why I blanked there. I think it was because the construct didn't have Metalcraft. I forgot just it being a relic lets me do it. Obviously, that is the case. Okay, yeah, the Shadowspear is in the sideboard. I guess I could have just checked my sideboard first. So they can hit me for 7 this turn at the most. It's not the scariest amount. I think that I am going to not make 2 constructs very often here. Yeah, let me get a cookbook, and then I can go Saga, cast Tezzeret, which resolved, and then let's go ahead and hit with the frog before we decide what to do with the Tezzeret. We draw a Mox Opal. So we'll play Mox Opal, counter on the Tezzeret. We'll be discarding Mox Opal so that we can make a construct. We could make a construct main phase. We could also untap the cookbook. We could make a construct main phase and then ultimate Tezzeret. I think I like that. Maybe a little bit awkward. Seems okay. What do you make of the Moto economy? It's a lot better than Arena, it seems. It's definitely has its flaws too. I think that the rental service plan, even though it's like a little annoying that it's through a third party sometimes, they played the Delta? I guess they just want to fly the frog. Even though it's a little annoying that it's through a third party service sometimes, it's really nice that you could just play a flat fee, you can play any deck you want. I really like that you can make actual money, you can cash out. It's like there's a lot I really like about it. Plays a Tamio. We draw another Force of Negation. So they can hit me for 7 this next turn. Am I going to be leaving my frog back? The option is to leave the frog back or to sack 2 food tokens. I think with the Force of Negation up. Well, maybe I make 2 constructs here. Maybe I go make a construct, get an opal, make a construct. See, I was thinking I was gonna get the Nihil Spellbomb. I think double construct is gonna let me kill them next turn almost every time. Just prices being almost a whole tick less than their peak sucks. Yeah, Magic Online economy has problems for sure, but it's like there's a few little annoying things, but it's just when you compare it to Arena, it's infinitely better. It's also like better than paper. It's also better than paper, but certainly not perfect. So we lose to their hand being Fatal Push Counterspell. Although not, I guess we don't. No, we do because we can sack a food. We don't lose to that. We already have a food in play. Thoughtseize. Okay, that resolves. Atos with the 56. Thank you. Welcome back. Hope you're doing well. They discard their last card, which is Psychic Frog. I don't know, it would take more effort updating Moto's UI or adding all of Modern to Arena. I mean, I think I know the answer. Also, what's so bad about the Magic Online UI? Maybe I'm just like so used to it. I can't even see the problems anymore, but like do you make the background should you make the backgrounds look a little bit more interesting? I don't know. I think you could make it look a little better, but it seems pretty fine to me. But again, as someone who plays it like every single day, it can be kind of easy to not see how ugly it is. I think I'm gonna bring in a Needle, play one Force of Negation. I guess needling Psychic Frog is a little bit awkward when we have a bunch of frogs too. There's 0% chance a multi-billion-dollar corporation would put any money into a client without mobile support in 2025. I don't know how true that is. Like, Steam is... I guess Steam has some mobile support with the Steam Deck. I guess we keep this on the draw. I think it'd be more interactive than click a menu for options. Be nice. Yeah, I agree. The click and drag, I like that on Arena a lot. It feels good. For playing, Moto UI is great for procuring cards. It's unintuitive. I think that's an interesting angle here, because boy, doesn't it seem like doesn't it seem like the Arena UI is so much worse for acquiring cards? It's like you just hope you open them in a pack. I hate that, honestly. So we can start to make this Daredevil pretty big as we play a few, or the frog pretty big with Daredevil over the course of a few turns. We can't make it so big or bigger than their frog with them having 5 cards in hand. They also might just have a Fatal Push. They do just have a Fatal Push. You might hate it, but it's definitely more intuitive. How is it more intuitive? I just very kindly, sincerely asking. How is, like, you have to open a ton of packs and then acquire wild cards? That's, I don't know. You just get to acquire the card on Magic Online, but you know, I've maybe I'm just so biased. You just get to buy the card on Magic Online. It doesn't really get simpler than that. But again, I am so far removed. I might be out of touch here. Having a trade on Magic Online is confusing for new players. Okay, I believe that. I believe that. Okay, getting hit again. I'm down to 11. I'm going to be sacking a food here, probably. Probably cycling the Lrien Revealed end of turn. Going to be needling the frog probably next turn also. They've got a Bowmaster that isn't going to do a lot, probably. Our construct's going to be a 5/5. So like I don't think I want to block the frog, because I don't know how interested I am in making them discard 4 here. I'm kind of interested in this frog being smaller. Looks like it's going to be kind of a moot point since they're sending with the Bowmaster. They just have another removal spell anyways, but But then they fly the frog. Okay, I block the Bowmaster. Have Kaito? You have Kaito. So maybe we're needling Kaito. Kaito's a pretty broken card if y'all didn't know. So taking big hit, I'm down to 9. They might stun counter the construct. They also might just surveil and look for a fatal push. So let me get another basic island. It's a pretty nice draw. Psychic Frog. Oh, maybe I should have played Tezzeret first. I guess I'm still playing Tezzeret so I can untap a cookbook, but let's see if it resolves. They have the subtlety, so we got to bait the subtlety here too, which is pretty good actually. Although I guess we have to shuffle the Tezzeret away to get another cookbook. We could say no to Asmo's ability, but that's probably going to be wrong. Wait, can I Shadowspear to kill the Kaito? It has hexproof, so yeah, I can. So I guess let's do that. I think the Kaito is more dangerous than the Asmo here, and let's just do that in there. Sorry, more dangerous than the frogs because the frogs are needled. So let me go activate the Shadowspear. I've never seen this. It's so funny. Should work. Okay, cool. Preordained. So we obviously want to dodge Fatal Push. But they can't kill me too quickly because these frogs are needled. This might be okay, I guess. I did shuffle away the Tezzeret because I grabbed the cookbook. Why is the text on all these? Oh, because of the Shadowspear. Doesn't have hexproof, doesn't have hexproof. Doesn't have hexproof, doesn't have hexproof. Okay, they bounce Asmo, then they get in with the frogs. Yeah, what's wrong with the Magic Online UI? It seems fine. Yeah, I don't know why it doesn't say it doesn't have a destructible. Tapped Watery Grave. And a Tamio. It seems like I'm just getting another cookbook and just leaving up one Asmo activation. If they do have, if their last two cards are a subtlety blue card, it shouldn't be that big a deal. I think we just killed the Tamio now. I guess they don't have it too much instant speed draw twos, but there's some. How many instances of spear activations would take at the Crash Magic Online? You know what? It's possible that you could just activate Shadowspear enough to Crash Magic Online. It does just kind of seem like that would work. Okay, I guess if they find a counterspell for this Asmo, we're in trouble. Not that they have the explosives. I'm down to 5. We got kind of punished for our line, I guess. They play a Flooded Strand. We also don't get to tutor anything off the Asmo. I think it's going to be so hard for them to not find any counter magic here. What other matchups would Needle be for? Any deck with Karn the Great Creator, Belcher, Broodscale. I think there's one other big one. They do put 2 cards in the bottom, which is of course what we want to see here. Yeah, but Barbin and Johnny, bring it in a lot. Okay, 7/7 Murktide's pretty gnarly. I don't think I can win if they have a counter spell. Despite I can rebuke back. But if I go Asmo and they rebuke back, then I can't kill this Murktide or gain life. So I think I just need to play around Fatal Push instead of playing around Counterspell, because I can't beat Counterspell. Subtlety Pitch Frog. Okay, well, maybe if I had gotten an Opal instead of a Cookbook, it would have been better. Maybe if I had tried to Pithing Needle explosives, that would have been better. I don't think I want to bring in the second Needle, but they do also, I can name Tamio, but then they can just not flip Tamio. You're dead on board now. I wasn't dead on board if I could kill the Murktide. I had double activation. The frogs were needled. Don't think I'm going to play second Needle. Okay, game 3 on the play. Let's go. But also, if we were dead on board with that line, then there was no line where we weren't dead on board. Keeping this on the play. Gonna go basic island into Watery Grave. No, maybe I go Watery Grave, so if I draw basic island, I can go frog push on turn 3 and get kind of aggressive. It's probably a bit, I mean, I can, there's a good chance I'll be able to frog push anyways on turn 3 if I draw a land. Like, I couldn't do it with an Urza Saga. I would only get punished if I drew exactly my second basic island, so I'll go island into Watery Grave. How long until we again see old favorite Sandwich Steelseeker? I do miss Sandwich Steelseeker. What if we go swamp into island? Let's do that. You will live. Psychic Frog, you're going to live. Nice. Don't know if they would have kept in a lot of Force of Negations. I guess let's find out. You have to put the command before. There you go, exclamation point card, Tezzeret's Simulacrum. I'll read it. No idea what that card is, though. Explosives on 2. Maybe go Tezzeret into Needle if they do that. Very good card. Okay, they surveil Snare into the yard. Then they Fatal Push a Frog. They must have just drawn that for turn, right? Oh, maybe they wanted to just play Frog instead last turn. If they have 2 Fatal Pushes, I'd be very surprised here. Alright, let's cast the Tezzeret. Spell Pierce? Okay, wrecked by Spell Pierce, I guess. Cast an Asmo. Get this cookbook back. Yeah, they're obviously joking, saying it was optimal. Okay, there's a frog. It's a 1/1. How do you feel about them discarding 2 cards to kill my frog? Or to kill my Asmo, rather. I don't think I feel great about it. I don't know if I would want to discard 2 frogs, though, to kill their frog. But I think I'm down to just, like, threaten it and then attack with both here. Then see what we draw. But I think it's very tough for them to do much. Yeah, so we hit them for 5, we draw a card, we draw a Lrien Revealed. I think we just play a frog and then we block if they attack, and then if they discard one card, we discard two, and then Asmo the frog. They could still have that explosives on two also. They would have had to have a land. Okay, I block. Okay, they just let that happen. Weird. Alright, then they pass the turn. We draw Mox Opal. Would be nice to have found a Daredevil, but can't complain too much, I suppose. So this is 6. So if I discard my whole hand, I don't have lethal, so I guess we just let them counter my frog draws. Put them down to 4. Draw 3. Maybe get Spell Pierced again. No, not only do we not get Spell Pierced again, we also draw an Ovalchase Daredevil. Alright, I think drawing the Force of Negation, I'm going to make the food on their turn, on their upkeep. We have Force of Negation also up for explosives. And we can make the frogs gigantic, or pretty big at least. Each artifact is like an extra counter. All right, a very long match, but we do emerge victorious. I do think Asmo is really, really strong in these matchups. Is there anything to Riddlesmith plus Quantum Riddler, or is that only good in Legacy? I mean, Riddlesmith in general is only good in Legacy. I don't exactly... Yeah, there's also Artist Talent. It's just so tough to have, like, you know, when you're just comparing this stuff to Ruby Storm, it seems so much worse than Ruby Storm. On the draw against Boros. Forever and ever on the draw against Boros. Yeah, Mesmeric Orb. Yeah, Goldblast is another card that that like is pretty interesting in these Asmo shells. It's not one I've ever tried building around. I don't think it makes as much sense when you're building it with Tezzeret. But like you need to have like a big creature to return. So you would need to be like an Asmo Persist shell or Asmo Goryo shell. Just something you can be. I guess 8 or more artifacts is also really steep. Okay, thankfully they just don't have a discharge. Looks like we're up against Mardu. Keeping a Saga seems pretty reasonable. Oh no, no! Okay, I guess now I have to untap the cookbook. I was thinking I was going to discard end of turn, and then I was going to discard end of turn, I was going to get Mox Opal so I could have Rebuke up. I think I still need to play the Tezzeret, and I just need to untap, but a little embarrassing. I'm going to do this while they don't have a removal spell in their hand. They could draw one. All right, we get the Tezzeret to 6 loyalty. Again, I wanted to get an Opal so we could just have Rebuke up too. Although we can't Asmo activation and Rebuke, so it's not like the biggest problem. Kind of wild this deck can't fit Emery. I don't think it's wild. I think these lists get really full really quick. They've got 3 cards in their hand. Even Daredevil's 4 damage. I mean, it's a lot of setup to like eventually get 4 damage. It seems like not that interesting, honestly. All right, I'm glad that people are finally adopting Halia and Boros. I think it's a great addition to the deck. I've always struggled with the energy matchup when playing food. Yeah, I think post draw is also pretty scary. Don't think they have a good attack here. Don't I just block the cat and then Asmo the Ajani? Maybe they have a Bowmaster. I think I'm still making this block. Ali's kind of mid. I think Ali is good, but maybe I'm wrong. They have the Bowmaster? They have... Wait, now they fail? Okay, I don't know what's going on. Unbelievable that they have a fatal push. Usually when I say that, I'm salting off a little bit. Nah, no, I legit just can't believe it. Okay, I guess now we discard the Rebuke so we can play Asmo. And then main phase make a construct so we can keep Tezzeret around and ultimate it. Yeah, this deck is really in on the Tezzeret ultimate. Potentially getting multiple of them down. Although there's I mean, I guess they only have one energy. I mean, they just punted unbelievably bad. I don't even understand how they, how their brain glitched like that. They top deck a Flage. They have only 3 other cards in the graveyard. They killed my Asmo. I can get Nihil Spellbomb off my Urza Saga next turn. It doesn't seem like they have an attack that gets through here. Daredevil would be a crazy draw. Not quite that lucky. So Tezzeret goes to 2. Then we get the Nihil Spellbomb. It goes to 3. Another look at the Spellbomb, or the Ovalchase, I guess. Let's just go ahead and crack this main phase to see if we find it. Or we could find a land to play the cookbook. Instead, we find another copy of Tezzeret. You want to cash in? Don't want to get a Mox Opal? I think cashing in for an Opal is okay, since we have the backup one here. And then I do want these constructs to be bigger, so we can just make them bigger this turn. Attack with 12 this turn. Probably thought they needed a result to kill 0-drop. I don't know what they thought. Okay. 2 cards in their hand. Tapping for a red, realizing their discharge kills nothing, I guess. Now they're hasting something. Unhasting. If they have a creature, they can jump something with the Guide of Souls at least. So they play a Seasoned Pyromancer, no haste. This will give them enough to jump with Guide of Souls, maybe an extra life, maybe an extra energy. Their last card's a Flage. It's pretty good, although they're very far away from escaping. One of their 2 cards they drew was Basic Plains, which they've also drawn a spell. What was their misclick? They didn't misclick. They just like waited. They just didn't attack with their stuff and then pushed Asmo in their second main phase. So it was very weird. They flip a Fatal Push off the Ragavan. That's definitely their best possible hit. But then they play they have the mana too. So I guess they could push their Ajani token and they could flip the Ajani. It's really annoying. Them hitting Fatal Push off the Ragavan and hitting land Ajani off the Spyro is certainly pretty good. Enough to maybe get them back into this. Looks like I'm a little short of being able to ultimate the Tezzeret also. I'm not main decking the Shadowspear. I was not on the play this game though. How are we dead? This is so annoying. I hate Boros so much. Do I regret not main decking the Shadowspear? I regret it right now, although we couldn't equip it anyways. I mostly regret not consulting on MH3. Every time this happens, I'm like, why didn't I just go? I do think we need to attack. I think I'll go ahead and make a cookbook a creature here. We'll leave the 3/3 back. Okay, so they're gonna jump one other thing. They're gonna flip the Ajani. They're gonna block with the cat. They're gonna deal me 5 down to 4. They're gonna jump again. No, I'm just super dead. Guess I'm just super dead. Anyways. I know I have the food token. So I can't even attack. Them hitting the Fatal Push too is so annoying. Ace the Halia. think I'm dead. Block the cat with the animated food and sack. That could be good. They're not even attacking with the cat. I have one more Fatal Push in the deck. I'll be so annoyed if they flip it. They hit Monument to Endurance. They also get to gain a life off the Halia. Seemed like they were thinking about casting the Monument. They do cast it. They gain another life. Then they draw a card off the Halia. We have one Asmo left in the deck. We could maybe pick up an Asmo here. See what we draw. So I guess we have to go return Asmo. Untap Mox Opal so we can cast Asmo. Yeah, we can only sack one thing. Ugh, it's just so annoying. Cannot believe we lost that game. Alright, Shadowspear in, one Pithing Needle in. And I think we played the Rebukes and not the Forces. I could play second Pithing Needle so I can name Bombardment and I can name Johnny. I could play one Force for Wrath the Skies also. And House of the Rebukes. I guess let's play one Force. Play the Needle. Yeah, I don't think I want to play the second Needle. I think I do want to play the first. It's just like so. It's like you don't want to draw it that often. Drawing the second can be really bad. Pretty excited about this hand. What do you think about Signal Pest, Pinnacle Emissary, Quarry Steel, Throne of God Pharaoh? Seems like it probably just way worse than any other Affinity variant, right? I don't know what that one's supposed to be doing better than anything else. I get to Surveil turn 1. And Opal will be a pretty fun card to grow the frogs here. Monument to Endurance. Okay, I think I am going to go ahead and actually cast the Asmo. I wasn't planning on it, but I think drawing the Monument is pretty nice. And then if I draw a land next turn, I can play Frog with Rebuke up. This is a little bit worse into Discharge, but if I played the Frog into Discharge, it was also a little annoying anyways. Because if they discharge, I guess we would have to only discard 2 Daredevils, but yeah, I guess it wasn't that big a problem. So yeah, Fatal Push, not Discharge. Whenever I play against Mardu, I just always like forget Fatal Push is one of their cards too. And they Surgical my Asmos, okay. No one draw step Surgical anymore. I mean, I guess they could be feared of me rebuking their Surgical, I guess. Do we think that maybe they have double Surgical the way they fired it off there? It's not really very easy to play around. I could kind of play around it if I had a Frog that could like exile though. I don't think I'm supposed to play around it. I'd be maybe a little annoyed if they have it. Okay, thankfully they didn't have it. So we don't draw our land, so we play a Frog instead. Then I go discard an Ovalchase Daredevil main phase. They have another push, maybe? Looks like a discharge. Okay, so then we go discard Daredevil again. Bring back both Daredevils. Then discard both of them. Land would go really crazy here. They're going to make 3 energy. And then my frog is 4/5. So if they do have a second Galvanic Discharge, I can discard a Rebuke and a Monument to keep my frog alive. Now I would have to discard my entire hand to keep frog alive. If their last card is second Galvanic Discharge. But I would have at least have the luxury of knowing my frog would live. Okay, they main phase Surveil. That's interesting. Graveyard of Backstreet. Yep, I guess we're all in. I don't think it makes a lot of sense to not protect the frog this turn. All right, and they do decide not to spend any energies, and they're not going to attack. We have a 7/8 frog coming in. We draw Urza Saga for turn, so not discarding that to get the Daredevils back. Let's attack. I'm okay if they chump. Okay, they do chump. We play Saga. And then if they top deck Wrath the Skies, we end the stream. Lrien Conqueror. Not quite a stream ender. Still pretty good. They're going to jump the guide. They do jump the guide. A good top deck for them. I'm down to 13. Don't have Revolt this turn. I can get Revolt next turn when the Saga dies. Not much point in getting the Daredevils back main phase or anything. I think that there's actually a lot of the time I just want to push the Guide of Souls. Like if they draw Ocelot Pride, I want to push the Guide of Souls. I think that alone is enough. Okay, if I push this, they can't double jump. Yeah, I think that's also gonna be fine. Like they're gonna have to double jump my frog and my construct if I just push this guide here. Okay, they don't know they're dead, I guess. Maybe they think that this doesn't turn off Saga, does it? Yeah, not enchantments. And then just another construct and another any artifact kills them. All right. Go to game 3. Okay, I'm gonna click submit, and then I think I'm gonna go use the restroom too. All right, game 3 on the draw. My opponent's on a mold of 6. Let's keep this. Frog plus Daredevil, pretty good. Got 3 looks at a turn 1 Asmo, which would be huge. They're thinking about their 6-card hand. Not obviously them not slapping that off is good. They just lead on a Surveil. They do keep a card on top. Maybe a good land light hand. Opposite Day with the 5-pack. Thank you so much. You got a gifted stuff from Opposite Day. Make sure to thank them. Thank you. Got a 2-drop. Got a Guide of Souls and an Ocelot Pride. Iconic 2-drop. Alright, 3 cards in their hand. Surveil. Okay, definitely keeping that. It's basically free to play because it turns on my Mox Opals. And then next turn, I wonder, I guess I can't quite ultimate, right? I go Tezzeret, discard up to 5, Mox Opal up to 6. So I would need to draw a Cookbook or an Opal to ultimate the Tezzeret next turn. I stream Path of Exile for 5 minutes tomorrow so I can gift the subjobs. No, I'm not going to do that. Of course not. All right, 2 cards in their hand. If they have a discharge, it's one of the last cards. We're going to lose, and if they don't, we have a pretty good chance to win. I guess I'm going to make them spend 1 energy. No, we might need a top deck Asmo. down to 10. I drew a Pithing Needle, which isn't doing a lot here. Could name the backside of a Johnny, I guess. Johnny and the Cattle Avenger. They only have one card in their hand, so it's not a for sure thing that we're dead. Thoughts on the leaked Carnage card from Spider-Man? We don't talk about leaks here. Didn't see Pariah. The front side is Pariah, the back side's Avenger. We don't care about naming this a Johnny, we care about naming this a Johnny. Should be really dead though. Really annoying match. Hard to name, but Barton with the needle. Alright, on the play. Nice looking hand. Could turn to Tezzeret, or just turn to make a construct. They reveal a Devourer. Should they start sacking after first strike damage? It doesn't really matter in that spot. We're super dead. Okay, they exile Dismembered ×2, Talisman, and All is Dust. Let me discard a Cookbook and then get a Watery Grave off the Lrien Revealed. We draw Asmo. So I think what we want to do is play the Tezzeret. Discard the Force of Negation, counter on the Tezzeret. Untap the Mox Opal, cast the Asmo. The next turn we can ultimate the Tezzeret and make a construct. And keep the Tezzeret around if we so desire. They do have a second Tron piece. And they have a Talisman. The Tezzeret goes to 6, and then it'll go to 7. I think I grabbed the Nihil Spellbomb over another Cookbook. Could Surveil here. I think I'm just going to cast the other Cookbook. Like, could Surveil and discard the Cookbook. Yeah, neither of these say newly controls. They both should be good to attack with. Yeah, I didn't make one this turn. That's right. Thank God we have a meta opponents with Wraths. We've got a lot of counter spells, so you're a lot more resilient to Wraths with this build than most builds. Actually, when I was testing this deck on Sunday, I played against 2 main deck Wraths. Game 1 against Jeskai and won the match. Or won the game and the match. I think I 2-0'd them. Okay, up a game against Tron. Let's bring in the Consigns and the Harbingers and the first Needle. Let me cut the Fatal Pushes and the Nihil Spellbomb. And I'm going to trim some amount of these. I think it's just too much counter magic and Harbingers. I think I might cut the Monuments and just be on the Harbinger plan. Maybe that's not enough pressure. I feel like we haven't drawn a Monument. Maybe we play like 2 and we cut the Forces. Let's try this. Seems fine. How much of an upgrade would Riddler be to your Winter Night Stories decks? Riddler Warp Harmonize seems good. Yeah, it's something we've talked about. I do think that Riddler Winter Night Stories Fanatic of Ronus seems like a pretty cool shell. Seems like a pretty cool shell. I'm certainly like a lot more interested in it not being the combo shell with Outcast Trailblazer, but like is there another shell? It's possible. Right, mulligan this on the draw. They're also in a mulligan. I think we're keeping. This hand is just pretty likely to... I don't know, maybe not. The thing is, we're already on a mulligan. We have both of our sideboard cards. We have Saga that can get us a Mox Opal. We have Cookbook Daredevil plus Monument. I would mulligan this if it was a 7, but on 6, I think it's just to keep. Like we have 3 looks at the land to play a Harbinger on turn 3, or maybe we play Monument first. Got there. I guess us drawing Urza Saga makes maybe our decision point pretty easy because we just can't play the Harbinger unless we draw the land. Although maybe they have a Thought-Knot Seer, and I can't consign. They might take the consign. You could take Daredevil too. Taking Daredevil would be interesting. They probably should. They should take the Monument, I think. Yeah, that is what they picked. They know what's up. We should discard the Daredevil. I think I'm pretty happy if they take the Daredevil. Okay, we did draw a blue source. And we also now have the rare and coveted Eternal Urza Saga. It's, you know, this was obviously like a really weird and controversial rules change. I do feel like we haven't lived in a format where Urza Saga is very good yet. It's contest for blue, right? Yeah. So I do have Consign up. Like we haven't lived in a world where like Blood Moon is super good. But maybe I don't know. I also don't think we're super close to that world, but we are closer than we were. Let's counter this so we can try to stop them from having colorless mana. Seems right. Very swingy game we've had here so far. Do I want to play Asmo and kill the Seer this turn, or do I want to start making constructs? Feels like it's a good turn to play the Asmo. Get to draw a card. Could even draw a land to make a construct. Remember when people were saying they quit Modern until they reversed the Saga ruling? I don't think I really saw any of that, honestly, but they have Dismember. And they Dismember Asmo instead of the Harbinger. Okay. I did draw all my Harbingers. I don't know what this means. What is in their hand? Karn? Okay, they conceded the match. Okay. I guess they did know I had a second Harbinger in my hand. I think I'm probably gonna get a basic Swamp here. There's just maybe a few cards that, like maybe if I drew Psychic Frog, I want it. We have an online Opal, so it's pretty hard not to. They do have the Discharge. If we're on to play this game, you know, we're just in very good shape, is what it is. See if they have another play this turn. They hit a Psychic Frog, so if they're Mardu, they can actually play the Psychic Frog. Thankfully, they're Boros. We're probably discarding a Rebuke to cast the Rebuke. The next turn we can make a Saga token with our third Rebuke up. Yeah, we comboed Harbinger with Saga and made 0 constructs. You probably discard Tezzeret. I mean, we have 3 Rebukes. Although the Rebukes are going to be really good. Maybe discarding Tezzeret's right. They exile an Asmo here. They could play it if they resolved a Spyro. Yeah, maybe. Ban Modern Horizons. I do think if you banned like 6 cards from MH3, Modern would be in a much better place. Plus Amulet. I think if you banned K Command, a Johnny, maybe Frog. Honestly, just like K Command, a Johnny Amulet, just that would make the format a lot better. Okay, so I'm down to 11, then down to 9, and we don't have to talk about bans anymore. I was trying to play a list close to this with Tomio and Winter Knight. Yeah, I really want to play Winter Knight Riddler. Someone in chat mentioned it. Riddler, Fnatic, and Winter Knight's like it's an interesting overlap. Ban Frog is sadly reaching. I think it's just like very pushed, but you could ban. I don't think you have to. I think that if I was in charge of the modern ban list, I would ban those 3, and I'd ban like 3 cards. But we have to wait until November for some reason for them to do anything. We could get Nihil Spellbomb next turn. It doesn't seem like we need to counter this. Oh, that was you, Scream. Wouldn't Titan just be the obvious best stack? I mean, I think it on that list was ban Amulet, so I don't know. I do think it is currently the best stack. What's my favorite band? Amulet of Vigor. I don't know. I'm not that into bands, I guess. I'm more into like solo artists. Right now I really like Aloe Boy. Okay, so I need to Nihil Spellbomb. Let's go and do this main phase. I also want to hold up the Metallic Rebuke. It's just a bit awkward if they have Flage. Shouldn't be that big a deal. Yeah, we played Tezzeret Hammer. We played 2-2 and decided to move on. Deck looked fine. I do think I just probably would play the Cassandra version again if I was going to play the deck again, though. Because like what I really like about the Cassandra build is that you get to play Flare Fortitude in the sideboard because you're also playing Stoneforge Mystic and Cloud, but when you're playing Tezzeret as your Stoneforge Mystic, then you can't play Flare, and then it's hard to play Cassandra also, and then you're just like density of white creatures is too low. All right, so they do have a card in their hand, and they didn't play a land for turn. Not that they definitely would have played land here if their last card was a land. Let me go Monument into Cycle Lrien Revealed to draw a card. Okay, they just concede. Feels like a odd concession with me being at 3 life. Like, why didn't they just see if they top deck the Flage? Do you think revisiting Thing in the Ice is viable? Maybe. I wonder how good Phoenix is at the moment. Maybe Thing in the Ice is fine. I usually think Thing in the Ice is kind of cope, but against like all the Affinity and all the Boros, you attack, it gets through, then 2 -3s gets there. Wait, I just had Lethal in play? They didn't know I had 2 -3s. They didn't know I had Lrien Revealed in play, by the way. But also, couldn't they have chump blocked and like just try to top deck Flage? Okay, hard to mulligan. Cycle the Wraith, see if we find an Asmo. Although very painful to have triple Wraith. Is what it is. Maybe get some pain removed via Shadowspear. Okay, I think we play Saga. Shadowspear, Cycle Lrien Revealed for a basic island end of turn. Why does Thing in the Ice does sound pretty okay. Okay, sad I've used my Fatal Push already. Urkel with the 50 months. Another 50 months of Urza Saga decks, I know. There's just like so much wiggle room with them. I agree that we maybe played too many Urza Saga decks. They're just too open-ended for the brew stream in Modern right now. Especially because they printed so many good artifact cards this last set. Okay, 3 cards in their hand. They play an untapped Sacred Foundry. I can't activate my frog abilities. They kill my frog, fry my frog. Love Saga, no qualms here? Hell yeah. Alright, let's go to game 3. On the Plague and Sporos. Yeah, maybe I was supposed to just get hit by the cat for a turn, play frog turn 2, and still have the Fatal Push in my hand. Do you have any idea what your most played non-land card would be? Probably isn't Mox Opal. Maybe Dragon Rage's Channeler. Maybe Lightning Bolt still. If we're talking paper also, if it's paper too, it's definitely Lightning Bolt. So we don't quite have turn 1 Rebuke up. I'm going to search up my Surveil land here. Okay, it's an interesting play. I can still hold up Rebuke next turn. Good chance that we could just get them to sack the Static Prison all natural. Yeah, maybe Mishra's Bauble, actually. If like just the raw number of times I've cast the card counts, that's probably it. Oh, third Daredevil. On the play Harbinger's consideration. Stop boarding in Harbinger every time. Against Boros, they have so many basics. They're playing Galvanic Discharge. Y'all are crazy. Every time I have Harbinger or Magus in the sideboard, it does not matter what the matchup is. Someone's like, this could be a good spot for Harbinger of the Seas. No play? They have Wear Tear. Well, hopefully they give us that cookbook back. You've played Rumble in nearly every green deck. But the thing is, MH3's only been out for a year. I've been streaming for like 6 years. They keep a card on top, and then they just pass. What did they keep? They probably have a Wrath Disguise in their hand if they kept so... Well, why would they Static Prison? I don't know. If I draw a land, I could play a Daredevil, maybe. Play a Frog. I guess it's one weird thing about Frog here is if they Galvanic Discharge, I discard 2 Daredevils, then they don't spend any energy, and then they don't give me back my cookbook. Okay, they don't have it, or not yet. Image 3 is only a year old, feels like forever. It's over a year old. It's like 14 months. But yeah. Yeah, I think on stream Bauble is like definitely the card I've cast the most. Yeah, I think we don't want to try to kill the Ajani here. I think we need to protect the frog / save this for like a discharge. Okay, so we go discard a Daredevil. Discard a Daredevil. Discard a Daredevil. How was their hand this bad? Okay, is this Orum's Chant? There's no way this is Orum's Chant. But what else could they be upkeeping here? Okay. Not a bad pickup. Oh, sorry, I guess we would do this. 1, 2. They dead? I don't think I can make the frog quite big enough, right? Can make it pretty close to lethal. If I go discard this Daredevil, pick up 3 more Daredevils, discard 2 of them, make another food, discard 3 of them. So I can make my frog 11 power here. Yeah, I do miss Steel Seeker. That was always the most fun card in these decks, I agree. It does feel like somewhat likely that they're going to have a Wrath Disguise. Because their hand has just been so slow. So maybe I'm supposed to like see if I draw, like try to draw another Rebuke, but I don't know. Yeah, I guess I could have just flown and see if I drew another Rebuke. All right, your turn. I do think they're gonna have the Wrath. Okay, they're hasting a creature spell. Oh, they're just making me try to feel a little bit of hope that they can crush into dust. That's fair. That makes sense. It's good to tap the Arena of Glory for haste, so for a moment I feel like I don't have to live against this card. That's nice. Good play. Okay, so we still have 3 Lrien Revealeds, 3 Street Wraiths, 3 Lrien Revealeds, 2 Cookbooks, 3 Frogs. We could draw the turn on the Monument. And we need to draw that or a Nihil Spellbomb, or maybe Rebuke might not do it, or we're dead to the Flage, I guess. Okay, very weird that they didn't discard the Flage to the Spyro. They discarded another. Their hand was double Flage. I don't know why they didn't do that. We don't draw any of these cards. All right, let's play some Cube. Let's play some Cube.